Hello and welcome to pmclounge.com. Today we are discussing the acquire resources process. So this is the process in resource management knowledge area. In fact, let me show you where it is in the next slide. But before that, let me also remind you, if you're into reading articles, first link in the description will take you to a relevant article on acquire resources over at our official website, pmclounge.com. So do check that out. And as always, second link in the description will be the entire playlist of resource management knowledge area, every video that we have done on resource management knowledge area. So two very important links, first and second, do check them out. That being clear, that being said, let's get started. So where are we? The PGKA mapping, this is where we are. The acquire resource process, this is where it falls. Executing process group and resource management knowledge area. We have already discussed the previous resources. This is the first executing process group resource that we are discussing. So let's move on. Now, acquire resources, it is all about obtaining the team members and physical resources. So both here. You need to understand that earlier resource management knowledge area was known as human resource management knowledge area, and that is when we used to only talk about team members. But now it has been renamed to resource management knowledge area, and that is why it represents or includes physical resources as well, not just human beings, but physical resources as well. And these physical resources could be facilities, it could be equipment, materials, etc. So whatever resources that are required, be it team members or be it physical resources necessary to accomplish the project work, obtaining them is what you are basically doing in the acquire resources process. This process also helps with the selection of resources and their assignment to the project activity. So let's say you need a certain environment, test environment that you need to set up, right? You have the authority to select what hardware you would need to create that environment, right? Or let's say if you need certain team members, if you need people who are really good in Java programming, you have that right to make that selection and select team members, select human resources which are going to help you accomplish your project work. Let's also look at internal as well as external resources. So internal resources, they belong to the organization performing the project. So that is why they are internal. The organization that is performing the project already has these resources. And of course, these resources means human resources as well as physical resources. So every resource that you need which is available within the organization is known as internal resources. Now, internal resources are assigned by functional or resource managers. So in matrix environment, you already know there is a functional functional manager who has a team that performs a certain function, and you will go to that functional manager, ask for certain resources, and they are going to assign those resources to you. Similarly, when you need physical resources, there will be resource managers that you need to reach out to. So internal resources, they are assigned by these two types of managers. External resources are sourced. So you need to source these resources because they are not available in the organization that is performing the project. So external resources are either acquired or they are leased for a certain time period. And this is done through the procurement process. Procurement management knowledge area is a knowledge area in itself. So I won't delve deep into the procurement process here, but you need to understand that external resources are sourced and they could either be acquired in terms of, let's say, hiring a new person or buying the hardware, the IT infrastructure required for creating an environment or something of that sort. Or it can be leased, hiring contractors or hiring or leasing IT infrastructure for a certain time period, for the time period of the project normally. Now, you as the project manager or your project team may not is the keyword, may not have the authority to select vendors here. So when you want to, let's say, acquire a resource or lease a resource, you as a project manager may not have the authority to select the vendor. And this could be because of reasons like existing organization wide agreements. So there are existing organization wide agreements wherein a vendor is already engaged to support every project of this organization. And I'll give you an example, right? So let's say your organization, the kind of projects you deliver pertain to creating IT infrastructure. So you need to create IT infrastructure for, let's say, office settings. When you need to do so, you need certain kind of equipments, right? You need networking devices, you need maybe telephone devices, maybe you need servers, maybe you need switches and stuff like that. So those networking devices, there could be a set of certain vendors who provide those devices to your organization for every single project. So as a project manager, you as a project manager do not have the authority to go out and select a vendor on your own, because there could be an organization wide agreement with certain vendors who are going to help with all projects that your organization performs. Another reason could be matrix environment. You could be working in a matrix environment where you are not working in a projectized environment, right? You're working in a matrix environment, which means uh, resources have a permanent home, right? Resources are required to be part of the organization itself. There are organization wide agreements, there are vendors that are already selected, the environment is totally set. All you need to do is deliver the project rather than sweating on the stuff of selecting vendors. A quick reminder before we move ahead, head over to pmclounge.com/pmp study plan and grab your free copy of the study plan to clear your PMP exam in 50 days. So let's look into some of the importance of this process. So the importance of this process comes from the fact that not having resources may impact the project schedule, it may impact the project budget, customer satisfaction, quality, and other areas, right? So if you don't have the resources, if you don't have uh, the resources when you need, right, all these domains of the project, all these areas of the project are going to be impacted. And not just that, insufficient resources, right? Let's say you need 10 servers and you only have 8, then that means you have insufficient resources. Or capabilities, you needed certain types of testers, but the capability of the testers that you have is not at par, and this also decreases the probability of project success. So this is why acquire resource is such an important process. You need to make sure that you have sufficient resources, and you also need to make sure that the capability of those resources are at par with what is required to deliver the project successfully. Finally, the question for this video is acquire resources a one-time activity? Do you perform this process and then forget about it once you have all the resources? Or can you perform this process again and again as per the requirement? So head over to our article on this topic to find the answer if you don't have it. And if you have the answer, let me know in the comments. I'd definitely like to respond and have a conversation around this. So that's all that we had in this video. Do hit the like button if you enjoyed it and got value out of it. It keeps us motivated. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay notified whenever we upload new content. And as always, don't forget to check out the website pmclounge.com, your number one free PMP resource. Thank you.